Alright, welcome back everyone. So I'm upgrading my 2013 Mustang 5 liter with some polyurethane, I believe they call these bushings. I don't feel like it's necessary to get those two as of right now because of the huge inconvenience of working on the floor. This is a replacement part that's a heavy duty, and this is the factory original, and it is very squishy. And as you can tell, for some reason somebody at one point in time put zip ties around it. I don't know why. Maybe they had a hard time getting it all on there, I don't know. But you put a little bit of grease on there, smack it in place, it should slide over there, bolt it back up. And the same with this guy. This is the other transmission mount. Now you're not going to remove this black piece. Instead, this piece right here is going to get inserted into there. Now it is separatable, so it might provide you a little more squish, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to separate this piece from that piece, put a little grease in there, shove it up in there, remount everything, and that should hopefully take care of the transmission slop. At least for me, it's first gear and reverse gear are the two primary problems. And since I didn't find any indications of like people burning rubber, I think this car was mostly for looks versus actual performance, unless they tracked it and it was a good person like me. You know what I mean? They don't abuse their car. They take it to the track once in a while, meaning like a road racing circuit. This car is clearly set up for SCCA type racing, not drag racing. And I think eventually I want to go back to factory ride height too, because it's a very uncomfortable ride, and it's kind of sketchy at times because it's not a groomed racetrack that I drive on every day back and forth to work. It's a daily driver. So not having the full amount of suspension travel can also hinder things. Right, so this is the basic kit. I bought this is off of American Muscle. Now one kit comes with this and these two bushings here, and this better resembles the factory original part, but I'm going to try and squish this one on here since it's going to have less flex. And so I'm just using a little bit of chassis grease or wheel bearing grease, whatever the fuck this is. And I think it's all the same shit, really, in reality. And I just smacked it in with the palm of my hand. It went in relatively easy. Then put a little more grease inside the holes. I'll smack this in there. And put that in there. We'll just push that in there. Like that. And it might be bottom. Yeah, it's bottoming out there, so have to take it off the bench to get that all the way in there. But that should firm up the flex, the transmission flex. That should aid with shifting. And then again, put a little grease in there. So did I drop the drive line all the way? No, I did not. I just removed the carrier bearing. It's this car still has the I guess they call it a two-piece drive shaft. So this should help out, but I'm going to take one more close look and see if I can replace these two, since I've already got most everything removed. Ideally, the transmission would be removed from the vehicle to install these, so that might come at a later date. I don't know. Then I got some header gaskets to replace as well. Now, because I have aftermarket exhaust, these are long tube headers. You may have an easier time or a more difficult time. I have no idea. But my headers were welded up, and then right where I need to have access, there's a cross pipe here. Can be undone there, but it's going to be, well, it may or may not be easier for you. I have no idea. And then, well, because the car's not up in the air anymore, this is actually very difficult to see. Now, unfortunately, I tried to document video how tough it is to get into first gear and reverse. It's really difficult to show on camera the amount of effort I am using to get first or reverse gear. So I'll just take it for a quick test drive, let you know if that's an improvement or worthwhile investment, what have you, but we'll see. since I was in there, I went ahead and took the liberty of adjusting the ball so it actually matches its physical location. For some reason, when it was reinstalled by the previous owner or mechanic or whoever was in here, they had the ball all fucking crooked and shit, and it drove me crazy. Well, first gear is definitely easier to get into with only a slight bit of resistance in comparison to what it was. Reverse gear is still somewhat of a pain in the ass, so, but it is better, and I think $89 versus roughly $600 for a Barton 3 hybrid shifter is a pretty good deal considering what you're getting out of it. You're basically almost restoring it to factory original, or a little bit better than factory original. If you have an original Mustang that hasn't been tampered with and none of this shit has been replaced in here, this is probably a good option for you to go. But other than that, I think definitely the Barton 3 hybrid shifter will be the next step. But I think I'll be pulling the transmission for that because there's just no room, at least waddling around on my back, lowering everything down on the garage floor. Just not going to happen anytime soon.